Alright, that's what I'm talking about now. Alright, so number 1, it says 8 of 6 over a to the second. What was my little saying I told you? When in doubt? Expand it out. So do you really need to expand this, or do you know what to do here?
You know what to do.
It's dividing, so what should I really do? Subtract them. So I'm going to do 6 minus 2. What's 6 minus 2?
4.
A to the 4. And that's my answer. Right here, I have a squared raised to the 6. What am I going to do here?
8.
Nope. If they're next to each other, what do I do to them? Multiply. A to the 2 times 6, which is a to the 12. Okay? Then I have a to the 8 and a to the negative 3. What are they doing? No. Okay, well, kind of, but they're multiplying. So what do you do when you multiply? Add them. But right here, it's adding a negative. So what's 8 plus negative 3?
5.
So it kind of did subtract them, but that's only because there was a negative there. I have a to the negative 5. Why is that there by itself? Can you have a negative exponent? No, you can't have a negative exponent. How do I make this positive? I put it on the bottom and I make it positive. What goes up top? If there's nothing there, you put a 1. Last but not least, I have a squared and a to the 9th. What am I going to do? Oh, they're multiplying. I add them. 2 plus 9 is
8 and 11.
And that's my answer. Do I have any questions on 1 through 5? Okay.
No.
Wake him up, please. Oh, what's your question?
Sound like this kid.
Okay, that would have been like this when we have a number out front. I'll show you some examples. Alright, we're staying quiet, please. Right here, Kimberly incorrectly simplified an expression, and it gives you this, and got the answer negative g to the 10, h to the 16. Which of the following is true? Before I even look at her thing, it tells me she got it wrong, doesn't it?
Yes.
So, I need to figure out what's the right answer so I can do this. What's happening here? What are they doing?
Yeah, I got multiplying.
So what's the rule for multiplying? Multiply the big.
And add the little.
Add the little. So what is my big numbers? Negative 5 and negative 5 times
20.
4. That's negative 20. Did she get negative 20?
No, she's dumb.
So she started off pretty wrong there. Okay, what do I do with my littles? I have g to the 3 and g to the 7. How many g's is that going to give me?
10.
10. She did that right. I have h to the 7 and h to the 9. What is that? How many h's is that going to be? She did that right. So what did she do wrong?
Well, she did the 20 wrong, so...
She did the 20 wrong, which means, did she do the g's wrong? No. She did the h's wrong? She did those right. She added the exponents when she should have multiplied?
Yeah.
Do you multiply these exponents? No. She added the coefficients. What's a coefficient? The big numbers. Did she add the coefficients, add the big numbers instead of multiply them? Yes. Remember, exponents are the little, and she's not supposed to multiply the little. Okay? Next question. Yes. Yes. A rectangle has an area of 12x to the 7th, y to the 8th. Determine the width of the rectangle. So, what am I given here? What's the point of this question? I want to know the width. What am I given? Area is 12x to the 7th, y to the 8th. Length is 6x to the 3rd, y. Now, normally to find area, I multiply length times width. Am I trying to find the area?
No.
I'm trying to find the width. So what am I going to have to do? Opposite. Divide. Well, if I'm dividing these, what's my rule?
So it's gonna be 2.
Why 2?
It's because both divided by 6.
What's my rule?
No, divide the big.
Divide the big,
Subtract the small.
subtract the little. So I'm going to divide the big and subtract the little. I have 12 over 6, you're right, is 2. Then I have x to the 7 over x to the 3. What's 7 minus 3? X to the 4. And hey, let's look at my answer choices. Can I eliminate A and C? Why? They have 6s. They're wrong. Can I eliminate anything else? Why D? It has a 10. And let's just make sure this one's right. I have 8 and a Y. How many Y's are right here? 1. So what's 8 minus 1? And that is correct. Okay? Next one. Most missed question. Start it. One of the most missed questions. It says, which of the following is not equivalent? If I have x to the 2 over x to the 5, I have 2 x's up top and 5 x's on bottom. A is correct, so that's not my answer, because I want to know which one's not equivalent. If I cross them out, how many are left? Where? On the bottom. What's left on the top? A 1. So B works, so it's not right.
B is like the right answer, so that one you could take off.
Okay. B has x to the 3.
Oh, never
but
mind.
here's the thing. Where is that? Are these x to the 3rd on the bottom? These are. So this one is not right because that x to the 3rd is on the top. Everybody gets this question wrong because they see it and they say, Miss, you have x to the 3rd. No, I have 1 over x to the 3rd.
Wow.
These are not the same. This has 3 x's on bottom. It works. So it needs to have a fraction to be correct. But again, I want to know which one's not correct. That's fine because what's 1 times 1 times 1? 1. So this simplifies out to 1 over x to the 3rd, which is right. There's an invisible one in front of here. In front of all of them. X times x times x gives me x to the 3rd because there's 3 x's. So my key thing I want you to look for is there's numbers on bottom here. They need to be on bottom in your answers to be equivalent. So since it's asking for not, I'm looking for the one that's not on bottom. Okay? Which expression is equivalent? Holy Toledo, that's a big thing. What am I doing here? What's my rule? Multiply the big, add the little. I need you focused, please. All right. My big numbers are 20 times 5. What's 20 times 5? 100. My little numbers, I have x to the 4. I don't have another x. So what do I do with that? I just bring it down. X to the 4. I have y negative 2 and I have y 7. What does that simplify to? Y 5. And then I have just a z and a z to the negative 3. There's an invisible one there, so it's z negative 2. Okay, this is my answer.
Hey.
This is my answer?
No.
Why not? I can't have a negative exponent. So what am I going to have to do? Put it on the bottom and make it positive. So this is going to be 100, x to the 4th, y to the 5th, and then z squared. What's the only one that has z squared at the bottom by itself? D. And also, you could eliminate b and c right off the bat. They don't even have 100. Or x to the 4, so you can eliminate a right off the bat. All right, over here, which expression is equivalent? What am I doing? Dividing, so what's my rule? Divide the big, subtract the little. So what's 12 divided by 4? 3. Hey, I need you focused. Put that away. 3. Can I eliminate any answer choices?
Yeah.
Which ones? A and B. Okay. My p's. How many p's are there? I have p to the 6 and p to the 3. Okay, what are we doing to these though? They're dividing, so what do I got to do? Subtract them. P to the 3. Can I eliminate any answer choices? D, why? P to the 8. Real quick, guys. Do you see how there's no q's up top? So my q's on bottom are just going to stay there. My q's on bottom, I bring them down. And then I have r to the negative 8 and r to the negative 3. What is negative 8 minus negative 3? A negative and a negative is a? What's negative 8 plus 3? R to the negative 5. Where's that going to go? On the bottom and become r to the 5. So your answer is C. You could have a process of elimination, but I just wanted you to see that. (11) The graph shown represents a population of bacteria over time. Which of the following is not true? Is my initial population about 50? Kind of. We'll see. Okay, maybe. Does the population increase by 100 each hour? Every hour, am I adding 100? No. The population doubles every hour. Every hour, is it getting 2 times as bigger? Yeah? 400, and then it goes to about, okay, about, maybe. At 6 hours, the population would be 3,200. Well, if at 5 hours, it's 1,600. At 6 hours, would it be 3,200? So which one of these is for sure not true? B. If it was increasing by 100 each hour, it would be a line. Is this a line? No. So that's why B is not true. Ooh, sequences. It's been a hot minute. Which of the following has a common ratio of 1/4? What is 1/4 the same thing as? 0.25 or dividing by what? 4. 1/4 is the same thing as dividing by 4. Which one of these divides by 4? Does it? Remember, you can check it by doing second over first. So let's see. A says alpha y equals 24 over what? 96. Does that give me 1/4? It works. I can check the other ones just in case, but I'm going to tell you. That one's the only one that'll work. Myra has a saving accounts balance that can be determined by the equation S of x equals 3,000 times 1.025 to the x. What does my 3,000 represent? What is this going to be? What's my first number always mean?
Your initial value.
My initial value, my starting point. Which one of these has something about a starting point? D. Ooh, be careful, number 14, another most missed. The population of a town of 3,000 increases by 7% every year over the next 3 years. If the domain, what does domain mean? Domain is the X. If the domain of 0, 1, 2, and 3 for this situation represents the years the town's population was recorded, what is the range? Range is the Y of the population. Let's make a table. How can I fill in this table here? Okay, but in order to use the calculator, I have to put in what? An equation. So what would be my equation in y equals? Where do I start off at? 3,000. And what am I doing? Increasing by how much? 7%. So if I have 100% and I increase by 7, how much percent? 107, move it twice, it's 1.07. Let's put that in y equals. Come on, come on. All right, second graph, and I want to fill in my table for 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3,000, 3,210. Which one of these is that? Which one? Oh, this is kind of... Well, it doesn't have all 4 of them, but it only has the first 3. The closest one would be D. Should have 4 numbers. Oh well. Turning over. I got 10 minutes. Probably less. Y'all. Anything to the 0 power is... So which answer here would give me the answer of 1? D. If you miss this question tomorrow, I should just call home. Huh? That means you were sleeping during my review. And if you miss this, you literally did nothing in my class for the last couple weeks. Well, we'll see. All right. Bacteria can multiply at an alarming rate when they increase by 2%. If we start with only 3 bacteria, which one represents this? Well, all of them start with 3. I'm increasing, so what do I need to have here? A plus. I need to start at 100 and add how much? 2%. Which will give me 102%. If I move the decimal twice, which one of these has 1.02 in the middle? B. And it's the only one with plus. Why is it not D? That's doubling. That's not a percentage. That's just 2. Ooh, y'all. Another one. Everybody should get this right. If you get it wrong, I'll probably call home. What? Okay, I will call home. What is the asymptote on number 17? What is the asymptote going to be for all of these? The x-axis. Remember, it's like your annoying little brother or sister.
Is it 5 on the first one?
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. It's not where it crosses. It's never going to cross this x-axis. Remember, it gets super, 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 super close, but it never touches it.
So which one? What's that?
So it's the x-axis.
That's
In my class, it's always going to be the x-axis. When you go to Algebra 2, you'll get different answers. Another way to write x-axis is y equals 0.
So the answer is x-axis.
The answer is your x-axis. Okay? The table shown below models the number of desktop computers sold per year at a local technology store. Which exponential regression is used to determine a function for this data? Okay, no matter what, you see data, what can you use? How can you use your calculator? What can you do?
Put the equations in the calculator.
Can I put the equations in the calculator and see which one matches? Or can I put this in stat edit and see which one matches?
I forgot to do that.
Is there a real quick way I can make it so I do less? At 0, what am I at? So which ones can I eliminate? Oh, never mind. Just why do they have x minus 1 right here?
Miss, how you do stat edit?
We'll cross that one out. It shouldn't be there. And do these start at 975? No. So I can cross those out. What's the only one that's reasonable? Also, use stat edit, you'll get B. Or put this in the calculator, you'll get the table. Using the table of values in the problem above, what would be the number of computers sold after 10 years? So, can't I just put that equation in the calculator?
Yes.
And I want to know 10 years, so what am I going to do? Go to 10, and what is it? About how many computers? What letter is that? C. Y'all, this is your test, straight up. Not word for word, but word for word, not number for number. Alright, 3 more minutes and we're done. Which graph represents an exponential function with an initial value of 1 and a rate of growth of 3/4? So initial value, what does that mean? The y-intercept. Is this an exponential function?
No.
No, that's a line. Don't choose it. We're literally in the exponential function test. Don't choose a line.
It's not.
Does this start at 1? Does this start at 1?
Yes. No.
No. Does this start at 1?
No.
No. What's my answer?
C.
Okay, that's not right. Ms. McCoy, what'd I do wrong? This should be a decay. Right? It should be a decay, and it starts at not 1. That starts at 1, but it's a growth. No answer. That's why you gotta pay attention. Not on the review. On the test, you'll be able to answer it. I'm not sure, but that's why you should check all your answers and not just circle the one that's left.
Fractions are always going to be decay.
Fractions, if they're less than 1, will always be decay. So
after that, 3, 4, and like they have a 1 by it.
Then it would be growth. If it had a 1 in front of it, then it would be growth because it's bigger than 1.
Like that.
Yep. That would be a growth because it's bigger than 1. Alright, for these, how is this growing by? How do I figure out my rate of growth? What's it going by? What's it happening here? Multiply by 8. So that's my rate of growth. Ooh, what about this one? What's it multiplying by? 3. That's my rate of growth. Could I write an equation for these? Yeah, because do I have my initial value? So it would be y equals 2 times 8 to the x. Where you start times your rate to the x. What about this one? What would this equation be? Y equals 13 times 3 to the x. Say it again. Because the equation one works too. And if you weren't sure, y'all, listen. If you're not sure, can't you put this in stat edit to get that equation? Like, let's say you don't know anything. But remember, when you do it in stat edit, remember you have to go down. We're not doing 4 anymore. Which number do we go to? Expo. We go to 0. All right. What is the rule for a geometric sequence whose first term is 8 and the common ratio is 3? So it starts off at 8, and what does it do? Okay, does it add 3 or multiply 3? Multiply. What's 8 times 3? 24. What's 24 times 3? I don't know that. What is it? 72. I want to know the rule. So it's going to be a of n equals 8 times, what am I doing each time? 3. And remember, if it's a sequence, it's n minus 1. Because we're starting at the first number, not 0. We're starting at 1. So it's n minus 1. Alright, last one. You spent 140 this month, Brian. Each month, your spending habits will increase by 11%. What's my initial value?
140.
140. What's my rate?
11.
Okay.
0.11.
Be careful. It's 11%, but I'm increasing.
0.11.
So 0.11 is wrong.
Because it's less than 1.
Because I need to do what to it? If it's increasing, I have to
Put a 0.
add how much? What number goes out front? The 1. 1. Because remember, it's 100% plus 11% gives me
1.11.
which gives me 1.11. So it's 1.11.
The question is going to be y.
Y equals
130.
140
1.11 x
to the x. So don't forget, if you have a percent, you need to start at 1 or 100, depending if you're doing decimals or percents. All right, good luck on your test tomorrow. Y'all are going to do fabulous.